It's fine.
So to give anyone that's watching this a little bit of your background before we get into your background, Erika is best known for being really honest and unapologetic when she's talking about social media or SEO, and is a really successful blogger. And I was really fascinated about the way that you've built your business and the way that you run your business and tying your personality into it. So I think that's what we were going to kind of talk about. So first of all, you're writing for a living, right? I mean, that's what you do. And
that's what I do.
Can you talk a little bit about how you got to be a full-time blogger, copywriter? What came before that?
About 17 jobs, working for other people and realizing that that's what I really hated. Mm-hmm. I've had a strange path. You know, I've been everything from worked in an answering service call center to being a costume character at Six Flags wearing one of those big Daffy Duck suits. Wow. Just imagine that in Houston, Texas, when it's 103 degrees and 90% humidity. It's like wearing a bathroom rug that you can't get dry. It's awesome. And, you know, I've either only ever been in commission sales or owned my own business. And when I had moved to Las Vegas back in 2005, and for some reason I decided to become a financial advisor with UBS Financial Services. And I was convinced that it was what I wanted. I wanted to help people. And I realized I really hated that. Mm-hmm. And so I went to go work for a client, which was a real estate trustee firm. And so I was placing, you know, thousands of dollars into multi-million-dollar private real estate loans. And so I essentially worked for an hour a day, and I had 7 other hours while I was sitting at this office when I wasn't, you know, calling people and having conversations about that business. I was like, well, what do I do? And so I started back with freelance writing. I'd always done business plans and annual reports for companies. Companies would send those to me and ask me to polish them, make them sound more attractive to shareholders. And I've always written fiction. And in 2006, I started Redheaded Fury, which was a personal blog, an eventing spot. I had just come out of a 3.5-year relationship. I was changing careers at this time. I owned my own homes, and I was a fish out of water. I didn't really have any bearing, and so I decided to vomit onto a virtual page. And nice. That's where Redheaded Fury started, and it started as a hosted blog on multiply.com, which was introduced to me by my friend Jody Gersh, whose brother is one of the founders of the company. And it's a private social networking community. Thank you. And it was a safe place for me to share my story. And when I realized that people were actually reading what I wrote, it told me, well, maybe I can do this. And then I started doing some SEO product description work, online content, online articles, article marketing, and just essentially realized that what I was doing for a living with the real estate firm wasn't what I wanted to do. So I walked in one day and left a 6-figure job to take a 66% pay cut.
Cold turkey.
And cold turkey. And didn't really understand where my next paycheck was coming from, but I knew I had some projects lined up. And the following week, I had an interview with an advertising and marketing firm in where I was living at the time, Las Vegas. And I became their senior on-staff copywriter. They liked my style. And I realized that I was writing for a living and that I didn't want to change anything. Mm-hmm. That every dollar that I walked away from in the investment in the real estate space was worth it. And when the relationship with the advertising agency ended, I realized I didn't ever want to work for anybody again. And that's where Redhead Writing was born. I started the LLC in Las Vegas in 2006, 2007. And now Redhead Writing is in its 3rd year as a full-blown company. And I write for a living.
And then how did you decide that your writing was also kind of would appeal to people outside of that community? Was there like a single moment that you just said this would work?
No, there was a single moment that I said that I was sure as hell going to try it, though. So you never know if anything's going to work, sure. But I think you have to kind of grow a pair and say, I'm ready to fail and I'm ready to fall on my face. And if people don't like what you're putting out there, it's great if they don't like it. Mm-hmm. But if people don't love it or hate it, you failed. If they love it or they hate it, you're successful.
Cool.
So it's a total win.
Do you have to have a personality like yours that's very outgoing and expressive, or do you think a lot of people would really benefit from kind of combining the business and the professional?
I really think it has to do with who you are and what your goals are. I mean, I'm a personal brand. Mm-hmm. I'm Erika. Erika Napoletano is Redhead Writing. That's all I got.
Yeah.
My clients, I work with everything from personal brands to corporate entities. And we have to sit down first and establish who they are, what their goals are, and what they hope to achieve. And then I can tell them what I think would work for them in the blogging space. But most importantly, every blog, no matter if you're a corporate blog or a personal blog or a business, you have to have a personality, because people buy you before they ever buy anything from you. And that's your products, your words, your thoughts, and your ideas, and your tweets. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have anything to offer in that avenue, then you're kind of a jerk tard. and you're not interesting, and there's no reason for anybody to follow you to even tell you that you have toilet paper sticking off the back of your shoe.
Right. Feasible. What was your experience like? Was it very, did it hockey stick, or was it just like a gradual slog? And then what networks did you find were the biggest sources of traffic for you? Was it Twitter, or what was it?
Total jaker on people coming into my content and my audience building. I'm like a private equity fund's, wet dream as far as return on investment. Yeah. Twitter has probably been the most useful, mm-hmm. as far as people sharing my content and having people reshare that content, and new people being introduced to my content every day. Putting up my Facebook fan page last year in October was, I really wish I'd done that before.
Really?
Because I have a centralized location to share all of my content. Because mm-hmm. at the time I had Redheaded Fury, Redhead Writing, mm-hmm. and toywithme.com. Mm-hmm. And, my Dear Redhead column over there. And so people could come to one location, and all of my content was aggregated. Mm-hmm. So that was a huge benefit for me, because people could always know what was going on with Erika. And the other thing is personal relationships. And social media is about being social. The biggest compliment I receive is when people meet me in person. They're like, you're just how I thought you would be. Mm-hmm. Because you're just like you are online. And I'm like, thank you. Right. At least I don't come across as some, Southern debutante. Look in the mirror, well. And, and then I've got, it looks like I vomited vulgarities on my website. There needs to be a sense of continuity there, because no matter who you are online, like any brand, any company, people have to understand why they come to you. They come to me for what my tagline is: unpopular thoughts and blunt advice delivered.
Yep. And
that's what you get. If I were, trying to give the world a Coke and a smile, I wouldn't be Redhead Writing. So mm-hmm. When you find the channels that work for you, the biggest recommendation I can give is that you make that content consistent, mm-hmm. and you have fun with it.